keep on trucking through, and I feel like Secret can combat that with their own sustain between Io, Necrophos, and as you're saying, the Underlord. I mean, just big team fight kind of death ball that they have.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll see how these lanes end up going down, because this bottom lane, I feel like it could go pretty bad for Secret pretty quickly.
Yeah.
The Centaur and Lina is extremely powerful. They get to the missile, so they're going to be able to push Handsken away, but even with missile, as soon as Lina hits 2, you can kill this missile. You're always going to be putting pressure with this high base damage on both heroes. I think Matu's going to suffer quite a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. No, this is definitely the lane where Alliance can shoot off to a crazy good start, as it did seem like they were kind of focusing on the lanes. And for good reason, too. I mean, S4 has had some really good performances so far in the second season of the DPC, and you like to see him get off to a good start.
Yeah, absolutely. I like how they just open up with it, too, right? Like, Centaur, Lina, first 2 picks. As soon as they see Io Gyro, they're like, all right, you guys want to go for greed. We're going to go for just battling you.
Yeah.
As we see YapzOr, he gets the half pull. So he does get this really successful pull up top, be able to just aggro 2 of the creeps. He's even going to try pulling away from the tower. Unfortunately, it does walk back in. He will eventually push out further, but this is what the plan was. They're playing versus Warlock. He can't stop pulls.
Yeah, as much as Warlock is able to win lanes through his presence, no disable to be able to stop these heroes from just walking behind the tower constantly. So.
YapzOr's getting another range creep deny. He actually got like half pull again, so 2 creeps will be taken out there. And that's going to deny quite a bit from Nikobaby and set up Zai for a good positioning in the lane, as it's going to push out. So
we haven't actually seen it on camera. So for those watching, what do you mean by the half pull?
Sorry about that. As the Tiny, he pulls between, and you wait until 2 melee creeps, or 1 or 2 of them move past the range, and you drag the range creep aggro from the dire creeps onto your range creep, and then you click on an enemy hero across the map, and you pull the melee creeps onto the range creep. So he successfully did deny 2 range creeps from Nikobaby, and it will, like we said, get Zai into a good position in the lane to be able to get some good farm that maybe he would struggle normally versus the Stealer.
Yeah, whenever I see that play, I feel like that's like that is like effectively the highest mechanical play you can pull off when it comes to these 4-position lane shenanigans. You know, everyone can like go behind a tower and pull a creep wave and stuff, but being able to pull it between the tier 1 and tier 2 and get those half pulls in where you're denying the range creep over and over again, like that is something you actually have to practice, and it is a very effective technique, as we're seeing Zai actually does have a decent game here. Bottom seems to be going not great for the Gyrocopter, and kind of as expected, S4 is owning in the CS.
Yeah, they even tried using like Flak, pushing out the wave, but there's not a whole lot you can do with these 2 heroes versus like the Centaur Lina. This matchup is S4 does have to be careful not to get too low. There is a good amount of damage if there's no creeps around with the barrage and the amp that the IO does give you. So have to be a little cautious. Yeah, I love this like pull between these 2 towers lately. I've been seeing range creeps just walk into towers and stuff for no reason. So yeah, I think it's actually gotten even harder to be able to do it effectively.
Yeah, I have noticed some wonky things happening with creep aggro and movement lately. YapzOr is going to find a little bit harder. Nice 2-man stomp. They're going to go for Puppey first. He pops a fairy fire. They need 1 or 2 more hits, but it's not quite enough. Handsken, meanwhile, he may actually be the one to go down. He gets off on Ella's way, hides into the trees. Nicely done by him, and MATUMBAMAN, he'll cop a lot of damage in return. So no first blood just yet, despite everybody getting low in these side lanes. That kill is still available.
I think you take this trade pretty hard, though. As Secret, you're happy with this because you have an IO. So you salve up the IO, you clarity him too. You're going to win the efficiency war of regen down there. And now they've actually pushed the Lina away. They don't get the kill, but now it's going to give Gyro some nice breathing room to actually get some last hits, as we said, struggling.
Yeah, and maybe they can even pressure the Centaur a bit. As you could see, Puppey doing a good job with that aggro you were talking about, trying to pull the creeps away from the neutrals here. Doesn't quite grab the range creep, though. S4 will likely deny.
Mid is definitely going very one-sided. Nisha been up.
Yeah, they're battling right now. They do have the Fatal Bonds onto Zai, and it doesn't matter, though. Zai's still able to get the kill on FNG. Nikobaby's not able to keep up, especially with YapzOr constantly in his face. A lot of creeps coming in as well. Zai, since he was low, is actually going to pull the creeps over, and it'll make it a little bit harder for them to get those last hits sitting underneath the tower. That is a gigantic creep wave up there.
Wow, I love that. I love that they're able to get the kill, and I'm surprised they're able to get the kill too. And it's because of these little mechanic changes in the lane, right? Like otherwise, Underlord, he's never gonna get these type of setups on a Warlock. But yeah, Secret making some nice moves. Nisha, we're seeing that mid matchup. It's quite dominant.
Yeah, seriously. You were there in that the show match, right? With oh, you weren't.
No.
Oh, okay. So that was me. What? Kyle, Cinderin. All I remember is I have nightmares about Dendy Mars, mid Mars still.
Yep.
That was
also the broken. Let's be honest though, that was the broken Mars. That was Mars.
That's
when
true.
He was, like recently added. He had all these crazy like damages on everything. Pretty much cooldowns were all super low. Your stack game was even better. Like, this is actually a nice approach to Nisha. He actually skips ult, so he puts the second point in his hard stopper just to bully Limp even more, because he's not expecting Limp to make a misplay and just die to him. So he's just playing for the lane effectively, which is a cool approach.
And whenever a Heartstopper gets buffed up, right, it makes lane matchups, you can be even more dominant, right? Because you're getting more regen than you were before. So if that snowball starts rolling, you can, and just certainly, just dumpster a matchup, potentially. MATUMBAMAN thought S4 was going to be contesting a little bit more. S4's just keeping the creeps from pulling over to the hard camp. It's funny how both of these, both Radiant and Dire, are battling over this same hard camp pull over and over again.
So he just wants to get a wrap around here. They can definitely kill S4 or Handsken if they get a good positioning there for the tossback. As level 2 overcharge, level 2 rocket barrage with the spell lamp. It's enough. Even versus this Vanguard, he's going to be fairly squishy versus all the magic.
You'd see Handsken, he's playing like directly next to the ramp, it feels like. So YapzOr always feels like he's going to get spotted first. They're going to go for it now. That S4 is quite low. They're going to toss over. He does get hit by the LSA, but he's still going to be in range of the avalanche. And that should... No! Vanguard is just enough. And MATUMBAMAN, who was so low, he couldn't keep going to finish him off. So they actually survived. The rotation from YapzOr misses.
That, just even the slight mini stun from Missile, probably saving that he can just back up a little bit further. Very nice for Alliance. Very nice for S4.
Yeah, I mean, like, if Handsken didn't get off the LSA before he gets tossed, like, there's so many little things that had to go right. It's we're definitely watching the two best teams right now match up against each other, with both of the side lanes showing that these little mechanical things can make a big difference.
Yeah, I think Nisha is going to be a pretty big X factor, honestly. Like, they already tried to kill him the once with the Mars ult. He just survives through it with all his stick charges. He's going to have Hood ready. So a lot of that damage that Alliance does have is that magical. He's going to be really survivable. And as we said, you know, they have a lot of tanky bruisers on Alliance, but this Necrophos last pick is going to make them look quite a lot weaker.
Yeah, and then maybe that's a bit why YapzOr is pressuring this bottom lane, right? Because those two heroes right there, Centaur and especially the Lina, those are the biggest threats to the Necrophos, right?
Absolutely agreed. And I feel like top, like, he's already happy because they got a kill on Warlock. You know, you got Zai first blood, which probably shouldn't have happened. Like, Zai's actually tied net worth with a Centaur versus who's a Centaur versus Gyro. So that's usually not the case that you'd be seeing happen from Secret. This Underlord usually would be quite far behind. And YapzOr, recognizing that he can make moves down here because he can't really hit the other two lanes. And he's
body blocking, doing a good job of it. The missile's going to connect. No toss for another 5 seconds. They're just going to have to do it with the attacks, and they do get it. YapzOr securing the last hit, and S4. Not enough damage to get a rebuttal, especially since he's got the 1-1-3 build, not the double-edge maxed out build that we've seen occasionally, though that's mostly been against heroes you can actually pressure more.
And YapzOr's trying to go in again. He might just give his life.
Okay. Did he just run up the hill there and S4 was sitting there already?
He had this. He still has a ward on the side that Hans plays. So he's just watching YapzOr playing, and YapzOr just... He tried to make a fun play. He had vision of him too, though, with the ward, but he lost vision for a hot second because he goes on to right next to the ramp.
Yeah.
And we're seeing Limp. He's trying to be active. He's trying to move around because he can't sit mid. You can't just sit versus this Necrophos because you're going to get next to nothing because he's denying all the creeps you do trying to get with your rebuke. Trying to make moves around toward top. Can't quite find it. We're seeing his net worth really get impacted. He's 1,300 behind Nisha.
Yeah, and they've got the Warlock sitting in the mid lane while the Mars is kind of moving around, which makes sense because unfortunately Warlock is not really a ganking hero, nor is he having the best time anymore against the Underlord. I mean, Zai's up late, so not much a 5-position Warlock is going to do against that, so.
No, and dude, Zai is huge on it.
Yeah.
He has 3,700 net worth at this point in the game. That's okay. He cancels his rift. Thought he was in trouble.
Where was he going anyway?
He was going to base.
Oh, okay.
Maybe he thought he was getting gone on, or maybe he missed. Like, I don't know. That was a little weird. But yeah, this is normally not the situation you'd see. Like Underlord versus Lifestealer, you'd usually see the Underlord having some problems, but he's ahead of the Centaur, who was versus Gyro, the lane that Alliance wanted to go a bit better. Secrets actually had the better start to this game in the first 10 minutes, which I actually thought Alliance was going to have a bit better laning phase, at least in the side lanes.
In the DPC as a whole, Alliance are currently 3-0, and they've matched up against some of the top teams. All they have left right now is Secret, and then the teams that are expected to be bottom 3, Tundra, Hellbear Smashers, and Brave. So this effectively means is that if Alliance can bring down Secret here, then it's pretty much an easy ride for them to first place. No problem. A 4-0 with basically the rest of the teams left in the field, teams that you should be beating. Alliance should be basically 7-0 by the end of the season and being first place and already being in playoffs. But they need to be able to make some moves here. They're going to go for this bottom lane kill. Oh, the Golem drop actually stops Puppey from being able to relocate out, but the Reaper's Sight stops the Mars. He goes down, and MATUMBAMAN actually survives through it all. FNG's going to be run down by Nisha, no doubt, especially with the missile chasing him out as well. Alliance try and make a move here because they weren't happy with how the lanes were going, but a big rebuttal by Nisha.
Oh man, that's 2 times now LIMMP. Unsuccessful ults, not able to get any kill. YapzOr doesn't even TP, actually stays mid. He TP there to farm. Zai doesn't even go to help the team. He actually cancels his TP. They knew that they could just stand there and sustain through it. That's rough. I mean, that's your first Golem usage. That's your first stampede, and the Golem actually just gets farmed by Matumba. So he actually just gets an extra 100 gold for himself infused.
You know,
problematic start.
I know it's pretty low on all right, they're not like no S4, you don't get to try and go for a deny, not by yourself like that. But I know it's low on disables, but this Necrophos plus IO plus 1 seems like such a cool combination, just because Necrophos shows up to a fight, he gives a bit of heals, and that's nice, but then it goes on to the IO, so whoever's connected to the IO gets even more. Maybe the IO connects to the Necrophos and amplifies his healing when he's going in his ethereal form. There's a lot of cool synergy here.
Yeah, it ended up like their draft did end up rounding out very nicely when they get like the Underlord and then that Necro last pick with IO. You know, Underlord might go for these, you know, these tanky items. Probably not the Greaves, let's say this game, but you know, pipe and all that. And it's all going to be extra effective because of that IO with the Gyron. 33k gold advantage, and you know, Lifestealer, he's going to be able to, he's going to keep this farm steady here, but Gyro is going to start getting very accelerated.
So at this point, yeah, especially with once he completes the axe, right? Yeah. So in which case, with like 3,000 net worth lead for Secret, it's no doubt that they're winning right now. So what is the next, like, we just saw one big move from Alliance that kind of failed. What would you say the next big play from them can be that they can kind of change their current fate?
I honestly think they have to try it again. They have to try round 2, but they have to get...
Oh no, the Reaper's Sight catches him! Oh. He did not see that one coming. He had the rage ready to go, but I believe he even had Armlet untoggled there, but gets caught by Nisha rotating up and hits the Reaper's Sight from the low ground.
Oh no, that is devastating. Look how long he's dead for, 45 seconds. Yeah. The one hero that's having a good time right now in Alliance now gets shut down. He's going to lose his tower, and LIMMP now it doesn't feel like he has a move on the map either. He's just farming Blink Dagger. But this, if he, like, he's gonna buy this Blink Dagger, and if his move isn't like, it doesn't hit hard in the next moment, his game is gonna be effectively done into this lineup of Secret.
So all eyes on LIMMP. As soon as he picks up that Blink Dagger, whatever move Alliance makes, it's probably gonna be a smoke play. It has to be successful, and it has to be successful in a big way, is what you're saying.
Yeah, they have to get like pretty much the biggest kills possible. They have to kill Nisha, probably, and I don't know if they have enough damage to take down this Necrophos at all now, unless they focus absolutely everything onto him. He actually has Halberd done on top of this hood. Absolutely massive this game so far.
Man, even the Sange, just for someone like Necrophos, it's kind of crazy. Status resistance plus self-healing, amplification. It's like, it's a lot of dirty synergies here.
Exchange is definitely, I think, the best item at the moment in the patch. It just feels Exchange and Solar Crest are just absolutely, they just feel so strong. And Hood, I'm actually just seeing like Hood every single game too.
Zai's gonna come up, and he's not afraid of anything apparently, but there is a rebuttal from LIMMP. He's gonna get the spear inside the arena underneath the tier 1 tower, but the relocate coming in, and Alliance aren't actually strong enough to fight this. Maybe they can still hold their tower here, but the glyph is gonna wear out. They're going to drop the goal. They do have a really good Fatal's bomb. The spear goes through with the relocate back. They're going to be able to catch these heroes potentially. It's the Stampede going off. Looking to be able to run down the Underlord. Zai's now dead. Nisha's low, but they are running a bit out of steam unless LIMMP. He does have, okay, he does manage to land that spear. Nikobaby's here to be able to finish him up, but he managed to get up the Ghost Shroud. He's going to heal up a little bit more. Io's coming in. He's going to tether him. He turns around, goes for the Reaper sight, but no, Nikobaby makes sure that's not going to happen. LIMMP keeps it going. Now with that Arcane Rune, he just keeps getting hits in. LIMMP. That was a great fight for Alliance because they needed that. It felt like if they didn't win that fight, this game was just going to go downhill.
Agreed. That was such good awareness there to see that the relocate's going back to him and they get the stun, so it forces, he can't untether. He actually gets forced to relocate away, and they have them all fatal bound together. That looked a little dicey for Alliance with the way it started off, but the way that they actually forced that relocate to go off from the stun, beautiful. Because they went on Zai, so it's like, uh-oh. This Arcane Rune, it was everything. Like, LIMMP gets to get off so many extra blinks, so many extra spears and rebukes, that it actually allows him to take the fight.
I hope we get to see this. 4, 3, 2, 1. Drops the golem. He's stunned, and maybe there was like a small second, but it's like at that point in time, maybe he even wants to get him out of there just because that looks like such a dicey situation. That was a great read by FNG and the whole of Alliance in making that move. And LIMMP says, let's keep it going, especially Nikobaby making the rotation in was very important for that fight. And now Secret, they had themselves, what, that was like a 4,000 net worth lead.
4K, yeah.
Now 1K.
Alliance has been doing this a lot in this DPC. Just execution in team fights has been top notch. Like FNG just recognizing when the team can rally and take this fight. Like LIMMP knowing his power too. With that Blink Dagger, that Arcane Rune, they've caught themselves back up in the game.
I thought he was rushing Ags, but he has a Crystallis.
Middle tower has been denied.
Okay, he did this last time he played the Gyro too. I actually didn't get to ask him why. I think it's just because they're fighting so much and he just wants any cheap damage.
Yeah.
So when he shows up to the fight, it's the cheapest, best damage that you can get on a Gyro.
Yeah, I mean, that's been a long time thing, right? I remember that early days of Dota 2, even Dota 1, it's like if you needed a really cheap damage item that was super gold efficient, Crystallis was always the play.
And it's going to be good versus Lifestealer because, you know, I was thinking, you know, Maelstrom is always a good one because it's a very cheap, effective damage thing, but you're versus Lifestealer. You're versus heroes that are going to be building this hood. So he just wants this straight physical damage. And he's got Ags anyway, already. So it's still very early, and he's going to continue farming at this fast speed. So Alliance, every time they have these ultis available, they kind of have to start they have to look for these fights. They have to look for these big pickoffs.
Yeah. Yeah, that is cool because like normally the play would be like Yasha, right? That's the go-to like somewhat cheap item that helps you just do more damage. But a gyrocopter, like the pure damage helps a lot because the flat cannon is hitting everybody. You don't care about hitting them faster with flat cannon shots. There's only a limited number of those.
Yeah, I guess I think I've seen him do this like 2, 3 times, maybe even 4 times. I've seen him do it a lot recently. Gyrocopter just getting that crit, so. And he's gonna find an Imp Claw too if he wants it. I think he might hang on to Vambrace. He's gonna pass the Vambrace maybe to Nisha. We'll see.
And of course, probably should just mention the crit doesn't work for flat cannon shots, like those extra shots that come in case anybody was wondering about that. But a Desolator now complete for the Lifestealer. That's a big fresh pickup.
YapzOr has his Blink Dagger too, so Secret actually have a form of initiation rather than just walking into fights.
Yeah.
So they can actually jump. Alliance still want to get the jump. If Secret starts the fight, things could be problematic. If Alliance starts the fight, it should be pretty Alliance favored. They still do have that heavy team fight. They just have to make sure to kill the heroes before they get healed. The sustain is going to start kicking in pretty hard from Secret.
You could see both of these teams, their philosophy is very similar, which is don't try and be efficient. Be ready to fight. Like, be ready to take this next 5-on-5, because this next 5-on-5 will determine the pace of the rest of the game. Whoever wins it. So it's not worth trying to farm that extra camp or something. We play together. Alliance's case, they play into the enemy triangle, trying to see if Alliance will run, or Secret will run into them, or they'll get a free pick. Secret now doing something similar here.
Yeah, they're actually just playing as 5. It's a really good point. They're literally just sticking together here as Secret, and even as Alliance. Handsken does TP back to start to get some push going, but very grouped up mentality from both sides.
So if the next team fight is like all important, who do we want to see that initiation on? So start with YapzOr. Like, who's his go-to?
If he can ever start on the supports, it's always just going to be getting onto them. It's also he can just get a bad positioning. Like if he can toss LIMMP in and they just burst LIMMP right at the start of the fight, that might actually be the bet.
Yeah.
Because they can just necro, they can just Reaper Scythe him after an Ava toss combo, and just a little bit of extra damage from Firestone will kill him. So I think either Warlock or Mars if YapzOr can find it. And on Alliance side, I think, ooh, it's actually tough because they're so tanky.
Yeah. IO is probably one of them, right? It always feels good to start on an IO if possible, but
that would mean Puppey's completely out of position though. That's like that one's like should never happen. We'll see Nikobaby charging in. Still have this ward on the high ground, so they have great information.
Zai's gonna break that smoke, and they're just gonna take this. They're gonna try and go for Zai here, and he's gonna be very tanky, but maybe not tanky enough unless they'll relocate. It gets him out of there. Puppey, great reaction by him, and he kept him close too, so they can still take this fight potentially. S4 caught in the avalanche, but they didn't have any following stuns there. That is a bit of the problem. But if Zai's not there, they pretty much only have avalanche. They're gonna catch him inside of the pit. S4 will still cop a little bit of damage here. He's actually going to use. He'll come back into the pit. They're going to do a lot of damage to Reaper Scythe. That's going to be enough to finish him.
Oh, and that's 70 seconds. No big bruiser, no big frontline, no big AoE stun. They still have the Warlock and Lina for the backup, but now they can just go start touching this Roche.
Uh-oh. They didn't stop the missile, but they're going to be into a clutch point. Nikobaby's right there in the front. Starts dishing out the damage. Zai gets a lot of heal, and FNG, he managed to get off the golem, but now he's dead. Nikobaby no longer having the rage. He's going to be caught inside the pit. Oh, dear. Alliance. They thought they can maybe take this in a 4 versus 5, but the death ball of Secret, they're grouped up. They're healing each other. The burst from Alliance just doesn't seem to be doing enough to get a kill.
I just picked up that Yules too. So the pit into Yules into pit ends up connecting. I think S4 thought he was safer because he held on to Stampede thinking he could disengage. But nope, does get stopped. YapzOr finds the backline. The golem goes off, but there's no fatal bonds. They need every little thing coming in. That play from Alliance doesn't end up working. Now Secret. Matu's got Contagious and a near BKB.
Yeah, and now it's really feeling like, how do we kill anybody? Because they don't have, like we've been having this talk, all of us basically, about the fact that, you know, big tanky boys are kind of the meta, and naturally the counterplay to that is percentage-based damage. That's something that Necrophos has that Alliance don't truly have that. They have fatal bonds. It's kind of like that, but it's not the same, right? It's not the same for being able to burst down one hero.
No, it's so scary of who you're gonna jump, right? Like as we said, Puppey, he was in position, so he just gets to save, and every little thing does come into play. Your hoods, your Van Brace for extra magic resist, etc. As you see Nikobaby attempt for a toggle, but you're playing versus that. Toggles, Heartstopper hits you instantly, you're just dead.
Yeah.
Secret finding massive footing in this game, 9k advantage, and starting to feel pretty grim now. Nikobaby had good timing on Deso and his armlet, but this gyrocopter is just starting to fully eclipse him.
Do you see a way for Alliance to be able to go late game?
No, not really, because LIMMP had to go for this blink and just going for BKB. He's not going to scale.
Yeah.
He's really not going to scale at all. S4 has, you know, he's got his blink, his hood, his Vanguard, but he's not scaling either. It really feels like it's going to be Nikobaby versus the world, and they don't have anyone that's going to effectively use Fatal Bonds. Like, if Nikobaby's a hero that can dish out mass AoE damage and make that Fatal Bonds look great, maybe. He's a life.
Yeah. That is something that Alliance, it's hard because you don't want to be fighting into a fresh BKB and Aegis Gyrocopter, but at the same time, you don't feel confident about letting the game go late. But Secret is going to push to the high ground here because they know Alliance is just trying to split push right now. So they're saying, okay, you want to split push, we're going to hit your tier 3. You have to come back to the base. And if they don't get caught in the process, it's okay. Toss back LIMMP. He did get a good arena, but the Ult Scepter. Nisha stops the immediate spear. Still managed to catch Puppey though, and they take up Puppey. A big win. MATUMBAMAN is kind of in deep right now. The Reaper Scythe. Oh, it barely got him towards the end. Mars does end up going down, but a 1-for-2 trade so far to the favor of Alliance. Now they're going to go for Underlord. Dark Rift out. They're hoping to be able to kill MATUMBAMAN or catch anybody, but they just don't have any repositioning tools. Ultimately, they got 2 supports, but the cores of Secret stay safe.
Secret just forcing them. They force them all the way back. They force the ultis. This is what Secret really wants. Even though they lose the 2 supports, Chorus just move them their way out, and they shut down LIMMP again. His item progression is just completely stopped. 0, 3, and 5 on the Mars this time around.
Yeah, he's not having a great time.
No, it's snowballed so much too, and the Gyro's now alive this whole time while the poor Mars is dead too. The Gyro just continues to accelerate this much faster. Going straight dataless, just all about just sheer damage being pumped out. And it's just, it really is just so much heal. They have to focus Puppey because he's a little out of position, but even killing Puppey is starting to get hard. He's got mech, he's got medallion, dragon scale, very tanky.
And Secret, like one notable thing is they Dark Rifted back, but they didn't go all the way back to base or anything, and they also hold the outpost. So it hasn't been much more than a minute, and Secret is right back to controlling the map. Alliance really didn't get a whole lot of farm out of that. As you can see, the net worth difference is still 9K.
Yeah, now it's going to force Nikobaby back to base, so he's not going to be able to get that farm that he'd like to get just out on the map. He's going to try stalling it as much as possible, or his team will, until he starts getting his item timing. They will be able to slow it decently.
All right, MATUMBAMAN getting quite low, no longer having flat cannon shots, but still having that Aegis for a bit longer. So Alliance, you've got to go. I mean, it's still a full minute. They're going to have to go for this anyway, trying to go for the spear on the Puppey. They're focusing down. They do manage to get him with the golem being dropped afterwards. MATUMBAMAN, his first life is gone, but he does have BKB on the second. A buyback coming in from Puppey as he relocates in. Reaper side to put in damage on the Nikobaby, but he managed to get the infest. They're getting him out of there. They're going to save him. LIMMP. He's going to be the other target. The missile's coming in, but they're going to deal with that. Alliance, they can reset off of this one. In fact, they're going to go back in, and Zai knows it too. He needs to be able to Dark Rift him out of here. MATUMBAMAN being targeted. The spear away! And look, gets him! He gets him out of the Dark Rift, and MATUMBAMAN will die as a result. And look at the tips coming in. They know LIMMP just pulled a clutch play for Alliance.
Oh my, that was so close. Nikobaby walks back into pit, nearly dies to the Reaper, but gets the infest out to reset. Oh, that was such a sick fight from Alliance. They still have some hope in this game. That was everything coming in. Your Nikobaby finished his S and Y in the mid lane. Then that actually caused him to survive, just having that little bit of extra stats. That was huge.
Yeah, that was massive. And I have to say, like, a general philosophy, I think it's very impressive when players have a bad game and still manage to, like, still pull off the good plays. So LIMMP, even though he's being targeted and his game is not fun, getting off that spear was so important for Alliances. Now, they're still down. It's still a hard game, as you were talking about. They don't necessarily scale the best, but they've got a chance.
Yeah, they've got some breathing room. Nikobaby can now go finish another item, perhaps. He's going to be able to... He just finished up S and Y before that fight, and he's already up to 2,000. So he's been enabled nicely. He's only 1,800 behind the gyro now, too. So some pretty good stuff for Nikobaby.
Look at this. Saving Private Nico.
So close.
They get him out, and then they go back in, and then the spear catches Matu. Oh, barely outside of the range.
No smile from Nisha this time.
No, not this time.
And now LIMMP, he's got BKB, so he's got easier ways to find these catches. Zai actually, in the initial start of the go, he actually did tank the spear for Puppey, but Puppey's still getting cursed. Puppey has to be a little more cautious with his positioning. He was right in the midst of everything with that Marzel. LIMMP, he did find the 4-man Marzel, so he did find a really clutch jump.
It kind of feels like he almost, he doesn't need to be tethered at the start of a fight, it seems like.
I don't think so either. I think he should be playing quite a bit further back. Because they're tanky enough at this point that they're going to live the initial go. Like, Matu's got BKB too, so Puppey doesn't need to rush these type of relocate saves for the most part.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. I think he should be sitting a little bit further back. Alliance, they find themselves a window. Now they're going to get their ult. They get themselves outside the base, get themselves a tier 2, and they get time for their chaotic offering to come up. They shook Secret.
They certainly did. I'm seeing Zai, or excuse me, Nisha. He actually has the shard queued up, which I think is really good, no doubt. It's good for the Necrophos. I always find it curious, though, when you decide to buy a shard versus trying to bank on Roshan, you know?
Yeah, that's true. But I've actually never seen anyone use it defensively. I've never seen anyone Death Seeker their teammate, which I think would be some that he could cause, you know, Nikobaby some troubles inside the fight.
Yeah. I mean, certainly with
secondary form of ethereal could be pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It helped the IO out quite a bit. You could heal him and make him ethereal so that Nikobaby can't, because like LIMMP does a lot of damage, but I feel like it's not enough to kill the IO by himself. He almost always needs that like +1.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, he's gotten fortunate to get an order to
relocate,
which I think actually really helps the team. Reload. They're looking for Handsken, but he's sneaky.
Yeah. Alliance do a good job getting in, getting back out. Part of it is that lane ward where they kind of knew where the safe area was going to be.
This is a big move though in these last 5 minutes though from Alliance. Like, look at the experience; it's pretty much evened out with near 10,000 experience lead for Secret too. And now just them getting out, they get the outpost even for like a minute or two, so they get some type of experience going their way. Now they're even going to take away the one top, so they're going to at least have possession of one every single time it does tick for these next few moments. So yeah, really nice stuff from Alliance.
All right, so what are the big item pickups? I'm looking at like Vlad's for the Mars. That's not necessarily major. AC is pretty big for the Lifestealer.
Yes, that's going to be really huge. And he's got his level 20 talent. He actually took the Ghoul Frenzy. I just think I've seen a lot more people taking the Evasion most of the time, but I know that's a new talent that people do really like, because it allows you to just stick on targets. Like, they just can't move pretty much because of that.
Yeah, and that is kind of a problem, right, with IO Gyrocopter. They're both so naturally fast. But it does mean he is potentially killing a lot of his survivability in fights.
Nisha opts away from the shard, by the way. He actually queues up a heart.
Okay.
So I think he's feeling that some damage issues might be coming into play on the side of Alliance. So if he's able to just tank the brunt of it, like these long duration fights, they're gonna go Secret's way.
Yeah.
Alliance is gonna have a hard time if those fights are longer than like 30 seconds or so, or 45 seconds.
Sure.
But there's the AC. So Nikobaby still very large, and they're gonna smoke with this timing. They're feeling pretty strong here. Solar Crest also finished up a bit ago on FNG, so they have great ways to amp him up. Look at this, 49 armor on Lifestealer.
Yeah, he's a big tanky boy, and Alliance may be able to. I was thinking if they just ran straight into the triangle there, they wouldn't know it. But YapzOr was kind of alone. They could have taken that high ground and taken a pick off before Secret could get there. But now it's a lot different. Secret are the ones on the high ground. They see.
Zai knows this. They see
Zai.
yeah, he just
Okay.
I was just watching the way YapzOr was. Man, sometimes I really wish you could go player perspective when you're casting and stuff. But they were like just checking that creep is S4.
They're gonna try it for it. BKB going off the spear doesn't land. LIMMP. He's gonna try and get out with the Stampede. He's already taken so much damage. But look, Nikobaby. He's got to be careful. Somebody's got to be able to save him. It's gonna be FNG. He's gonna put his body on the line here to try and get Nikobaby out of here and healed up. Are they gonna be able to turn around on this? The missile going out. Reaper's Sight still available. He's gonna toss him back into the pit, but S4, he's gonna go in. This may actually be an initiation onto the Gyrocopter. Relocate away. Puppey's not gonna be able to make it out, and he wasn't going anywhere anyway. He actually lands in the exact same spot, and Puppey goes down as well. Nikobaby's able to focus him. LIMMP is gonna fall, but it doesn't really matter. Nikobaby's all the damage right now, and he is pumping it out. He's trying to bring down Zai. The Zero form came out for a second there, but it doesn't do enough. Now Nikobaby can start munching on Nisha. Nisha tries to save himself with the Reaper's Sight, but it doesn't do enough. Nikobaby, he's happy, he's healthy, and he's having a great lunch here in game 1 against Secret.
Holy moly, what a fight. Handsken playing just right on the outskirts, getting an unbelievable amount of spells off. 4 stuns, 6 Dragon Glaives, Yules. He's just kiting Nisha the entirety of the fight, and they do get the focus fire. They get on Matu. They blow him up. They use absolutely everything to kill this Gyrocopter.
And
the relocate, a little bit weird. Puts it in place, but it was going to kill the Gyrocopter anyway.
Well, Alliance, it was a small sacrifice, but we'll talk about that later. We see this initiation. The toss in, S4 reads it, and the toss works against them here. They toss him onto MATUMBAMAN, and S4 is like, great, let's focus down Gyro.
And look at Handsken, like he gets this double stun on YapzOr and Nisha at the same time, so they're effectively cut out of the fight. They can't get into the arena at all, and everyone on the side of Alliance is hitting targets perfectly. Nikobaby's just going from target to target. He's at absolute freedom to just bring them down with all this minus armor and damage. That was very impressive as Nikobaby takes the top net worth in the game now.
And now he's got open wounds as well.
He does.
Because they took down Roshan, they picked up Aegis and Cheese, and Nikobaby actually took all the items for himself, and that makes total sense. I mean, he is the bedrock right now. They just need to give him as much amping up as possible.
Absolutely. This open wounds could be huge. Like, just the heal percentage that you can get versus Necrophos could be massive. Secret, they're setting up a gank for him.
Tossing over. That's kind of a cool play, but this is an Aegis Alliance. They can certainly bail him out if needed. He's going to go ahead and infest inside. He's good for now.
Massive fights. Nikobaby, he's, like we said, he finished up AC like just before that fight. He's almost got a full Scotty soon. So reducing the effectiveness of the heals and playing versus ranged carries, it's going to be super effective when he gets that online. Matu does have a Satanic finish now, so it's going to be a lot harder for them to do that one shot. they find Zai.
Yeah, Zai. He is not going to be relocated out in time. Puppey is now in some big time troubles. He doesn't have a tether to be able to get away. So Nikobaby, he can try and munch on him. Ghost Scepter, tether up in 1 more second, but the Stomp comes in first. Tether away. Oh, relocate back actually, and they don't have anybody around YapzOr. You can see him cutting creep waves here, but the siege wagons are up, so Alliance could definitely still
Radiant's
pressure
middle
base if they
tower is
want.
under attack.
And honestly, pointing out too, is that S4, he has a halberd after all these fights too, so that satanic from the gyrocopter, it won't be as effective. Like he just waits for the proper moment, right? Like if you just get this halberd on him when he's starting to get low, you know, satanic, it's
Radiant
a basic dispel, but nothing dispels
fortified.
halberd. So he'll just be
Radiant's
screwed. He won't get
middle
any
tower is
lifesteal
under
back
attack.
if he does get halberd at the right moment from S4.
Do you feel like
Advantage. This
Radiant's
is
middle tower has fallen.
the damage of Chrysalis, so the other choice would have been Yasha, right? And if you build Yasha, you naturally build into SNY, giving you status resistance. And it does feel like MATUMBAMAN, he could use just a little bit more tank and a lot more status resistance.
Radiant's middle barracks
That is a very
has
good
fallen.
point, Cap. Maybe regretting it, the choice to just go for that straight damage, as Alliance have just completely swung this game around.
Yeah, they certainly have, and they're going to keep the momentum going. They're going to go for Nisha here. Nisha, a tether's already up, so it's not like they have any way to bail him out. Nisha, he put himself out there.
And he bought a relic.
Yeah.
He didn't even go for the Reaver that he was going for the tankiness. He's going for more damage, but now he just means that he dies even easier versus this. And now there's an Aghanims on Handsken too, so extra damage, and it's pure damage versus BK.
Secret. It might just be crumbling a little bit here. They're going to have to hold without Nisha somehow to relocate back a little bit. FNG's going to drop the goal before he dies. YapzOr on the other side is going to be traded out as he did toss in FNG for that. Nikobaby sticking on to him, and meanwhile, the Lena's just dealing with the tier 3. Stomp coming in. Uh-oh. He's in trouble. Gyrocopter, they got to get him out of here if possible. They just don't have anything, though. He's got no buyback in Alliance. They could just potentially go straight for throne here.
Radiant's bottom barracks
This
are under attack.
is so impressive here by Alliance. Again, Nikobaby just putting the team on his shoulders. 9-2 and 9. This lifestealer, he's got Scotty. They can't fight. They might just be able to end it.
I think they will. 60 seconds. YapzOr is going to have to do some crazy toss plays. And even that, he's got a minute left with the Aegis. I am flabbergasted that Alliance made such a sick comeback in this game, because it just looked like they didn't have any place to run. They win one fight and they just momentum ran through Secret. Damn.
I mean, this has been Alliance in a nutshell. Honestly, this DPC so far. They've just had so much perseverance in games. Even when it's looking like they're down and out, somehow they bring these games back. I've seen this now like